Hello guys, Nathan Metal Down Under here. Time for a bit of a rock and metal update. I haven't done one in a month or two now, so I thought I'd jump on there and get one done. This is going to be full of thrash metal, death metal, apart from one album, which I will show very shortly. But what's playing in the background today? We have a bit of thrash metal out of Montreal, Canada. Alcoholator came out on High Roller Records back in 2015. Nothing new here, but just good straightforward thrash metal, so I hope you enjoy that. Now, a month or two ago I was very lucky to win Trevor Hickey's competition, and he PayPal'd me some money. Just makes it more sense rather than sending me a record, and I managed to pick up a CD and a vinyl. So I'm going to show those two first, and as I said, the first album isn't going to be thrash or death metal. It is a band out of Argentina, brand new band, brand new album from this year on Frontiers Records, which I love that label, and that is the band In a Stream. The album's called Stain the Sea, female fronted melodic goth new metal in places, but yeah, really good stuff. There's the back there. There's lead singer, amazing voice. So yeah, really glad to be able to pick this up. And so we just have lyrics and a couple of band shots. Now they are a three-piece out of Argentina, and yeah, really good. I really enjoyed this album. So if into your melodic metal, a bit of goth influence in there as well, you should enjoy In a Stream, Stain the Sea. And then the vinyl I picked up with the prize winnings. Now this is hands down my favourite album of the year so far. It's only a few months to go. It might be still up there at the end. And that is Artillery and X. Love this album. Came out on Metal Blade Records this year, 2021. Really cool skull there. Yeah, typical Metal Blade packaging, just on standard black wax. But yeah, I love every single track on this album. No filler on this in my ears. First album ever owned by this band. I do need to go and check out some of their earlier albums. The last album before this one's really good too. But there are the guys there. These guys are Dutch, I believe. Yeah, stoked to have this. Came with a little bit of a bend in the top, you probably can't see it, but just on the front cover, the back side it's all good. But yeah, brilliant album from these guys. They've been around since the 80s and they're still kicking ass out there. Definitely, I've heard a few tracks from the earlier albums, and this is definitely a different sound. Obviously more modern and not as thrashy as the earlier stuff, but still awesome album. Could be my number one album of the year. So that's that one. So thanks Trevor for having a competition, and it was just great that I could win it. So yeah, that's what I picked up with your prize winnings, mate. Yeah, and stoked with both of them. So now, I'll carry on. Next band is a band out of New Zealand, Bullet Bout. Now they are a heavy metal, black and thrash, death metal at times, and even a bit of black metal influences in there too, especially on the earlier albums. This is called 9 Centuries. Came on this really cool yellow wax, and I'm actually good friends, put it around the right way, with the guitarist and the lead singer of this band. Unfortunately, neither of them are in the band anymore, but they both appeared on this album along with their previous album, Rise of the Banshee, which is another fantastic album. This album is a lot heavier, very harsh vocals, female fronted, and Jolene, her voice is yeah, she can scream, I tell you that much. It's almost like she is a banshee, real witch sound to her voice on this album in particular. Yeah, so I've had that one for a few years now. But getting back onto this one. Sorry about the boobies there. But as I said, I'm really good friends with the drummer, the guitarist Ross, and Jolene, the vocalist. And Ross actually signed this copy for me, which was awesome. Signed it to Nathan. And inside, typical lyrics, and then we have a band photo there, and obviously that is my friend, good friend Ross there, and Jolene. Yeah, just brilliant stuff. Very, very blackened in style, but yeah, great stuff if you're into that kind of thing. And he also sent me a few extra bits and pieces. Have a band poster there, which is awesome. And then this one here. Another one of the same, but this one is fully signed by the whole band, so that is fantastic. And then a couple of flyers from old shows that they did. This one came from a show back in 2012 with a band from the USA, Goat Whore, obviously Bullet Bout, Impeti from Singapore, and Exhumed Moors from New Zealand. So yeah, that would have been an awesome show to be at, so that's a really cool flyer. And then a show Bullet Bout did with Blaze Bayley and Paul Diano, which I never knew about. So that would have been a superb show, especially seeing those two guys at the same show. Yeah, this one was in. Oh, it actually doesn't have a year on it. But yeah, really cool flyer there for when they played with Paul Diano and Blaze Bayley. So it's cool that Ross gave me all the extra bits and bobs there. Moving right along, bit of Spanish thrash metal. We have the brand new album from Angelus. I don't even know how to say it properly. Angelus Apatrida. I'm not sure. Maybe Angelus Apatrida. What was cool about this one? It also came with a copy of the CD that I can play in the house and in the car. So yeah, I wish all albums came with the CD as well. This one came out on yellow wax as well. And on the hype sticker, it says the new self-titled album includes 10 crushing thrash metal songs, more determined, versatile and ferocious than ever before. 180 gram yellow vinyl with bonus CD. First album I've ever owned by this band. I'd sampled a few tracks off previous albums, but yeah, just never got round to picking anything up. But now I have this album, I'm stoked. Awesome album art there. Sorry about the light, but yeah, that's fantastic. And there on the back, the name of the album. It's just self-titled, I believe. But yeah, good thrash. We have the lyrics and the band photo there. Fairly young guys looking at that picture, but yeah, good stuff. Just like the Alcoholator, nothing new really, but yeah, just continuing on with the awesome thrash that's coming out these days. Angus at the Treader. And now onto a death metal album. We have Exhumed. What's this one called? Horror. I love my horror movies. Obviously love my heavy metal, so it goes hand in hand that I pick up this Exhumed album. A brutal sounding death metal here. Very short tracks, and I love the back. Makes it look like it's old from the 80s. It's old horror movie VHS tapes, which is awesome. But to be honest with you, most of those horror movies I've never actually heard of, so I should actually go and check some of them out. But yeah, really brutal sounding death metal. First album of your own by these guys. I found it really cheap, so I picked it up. And we have a bit of a bit of a band shot, and we have the lyrics. And it comes with a sort of like a glossy blood on it, more glossy than the rest of the matte cover. As Exhumed Horror, the highly anticipated new album from gore-obsessed speed freaks Exhumed, and it's certainly speedy, very quick songs, just on your standard black wax. There's no point filling that out, but yeah, really good. If you're into the fast, harsh, sort of like Cannibal Corpse based lyrics, check out Exhumed. Next one, another death metal album. I saw James Elder show this album, and I thought, yeah, I'll check out a few tracks on YouTube, and really enjoyed it. So I pulled the trigger, and I bought Vader and Dave Profundus, death metal band out of Poland. Yeah, first album I've owned from these guys as well. Heard a lot of their music over the last couple of years. But just never picked anything up. But I saw this, and yeah, love that album art. I'm actually not going to pull this one out of the sleeve because it's so hard to get back in it. Last time I tried to pull it out, I almost ended up ripping the cover. So I'm not going to do that. But it came out on a really awesome splatter. And I think this might be the best splatter I have in my collection. Coloured vinyl. Just awesome. Goes really well with the album art. So yeah, this one came out. Pull out the back of it. Nuclear Blast 2021, so brand new release. But I think it may be an older album as far as I'm aware of. But don't quote me on that. But yep, glad to have my first Vader on a vinyl. Now another death metal band here, melodic death metal this time. Brand new band out of Germany, I believe. I'm pretty sure they're Germany. Female fronted metal. This came out on Napalm Records. We have a bit of High Raise, if that's how you pronounce it, and Solitary. Really different album art there. Quite harsh in the vocal, but yeah, it's still very melodic at the same time. Now, if I remember correctly, this came out on just standard black wax. Brand new release, 2021. I believe it was a gatefold, yes it was. And there we have the band there, 5-piece. Yeah, really excellent vocals and music from this band. And nope, there was no internal sheet, but yeah, Napalm Records putting out some really awesome stuff lately, and High Raise is one of them. Brand new band. that away later. Now the last 3 bands I'm going to show are all bands out of the United Kingdom. First one, an album that came out in 1989. Never heard of them back in the day. It wasn't until maybe 3 or 4 years ago I even discovered them, and that was through watching YouTube. And that was the band Slammer. Now, this is their debut album, The Work of Idle Hands. This is obviously a reissue. Very, very Metallica inspired in their sound. Really awesome. This album in particular. The second album I don't enjoy quite as much. Not a terrible album, but yeah, this one is fantastic. Yeah, great tracks on here, but very, very Metallica inspired. And I believe, if I remember correctly, this guy has passed away, maybe? But this is a weird photo. He's not even looking in the direction of the camera, whereas the other guys are. I just think that's quite strange. But if I remember correctly, he may have passed on. But we just have lyrics and the like. Yeah, Black Wax. Yeah, pick this up off Discogs for a really, really good price. And yeah, had to grab it. Been wanting it for some time now, but it's never got round to it and couldn't find a copy cheap enough until this one popped up. So snapped it up. So yep. And the last 2 I'm going to show in this update, albums that came out last year that I just didn't pick up at the time, mainly due to the fact that they weren't available here in New Zealand, and they were still quite pricey overseas as well. And they're still not available in New Zealand, so I jumped on them and picked them up from overseas on Discogs. First one, 2020 release of Acid Rain, The Age of Entitlement. Fantastic album. I love that cover. That clown is awesome. At their best. You're certainly not going to get what the sound from the earlier years. And this is a little bit, back in the day they were a bit more funny in their lyrics. This is a bit more growing up sounding. And I believe this was Scott Waters' album of 2020, and I can understand why he said that. Even features the song Blood Make Noise featuring Suzanne Vega. So yeah, but yeah, really, really catchy, almost hardcore in places, I believe, in his vocal style on this album. But there's the band there, and this guy here is absolutely hilarious. I saw I know Mike and Mark G just recently saw them in concert, and from the video clip I saw, it looked like it was a fantastic show. And yeah, apparently he's still a very comedic character, and I believe he does comedy now. We're glad to finally have this Acid Rain in my collection. Yeah, 2020 on Back on Black. Good stuff. And then the last one for this video, we have Onslaught and Generation Antichrist. Second album I own by these guys. The other one I own is Search for Insanity, I believe it's called. One of the albums from '89, which doesn't get a lot of love. A lot of people don't like it because it's a bit more commercial sounding. But yeah, I enjoy it. This came out a really cool goldy brown, caramelly brown vinyl. It says gold, but it doesn't really look gold to me. It looks more caramelly. But yeah, still cool. This album, both of these albums would have featured very highly in my album list last year. Even though I didn't do a video, would have featured very high in my top albums if I had both of them. But yeah, Onslaught, Generation Antichrist came out on AFM, 2020 release. 9 tracks on this one. And then inside we have the lyrics, and it's a cool picture there. Nope, no insert. But yeah, good album. It says gold vinyl, but Limited to 500 copies, it says. But I remember the first song I heard of this album, I think it was Rise to Power. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I wanted it from last year, but just didn't grab it. But finally have it now. So another album for my Thrash collection. So that's my pickups. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I've got more updates coming up. I've got a glam hair metal update coming up. I've also got a European metal update coming up, and then also got a mixed update with hair metal, standard heavy metal, thrash metal, death metal, all in the one. Even some pop in that one as well. So yeah, look forward to showing what I picked up there as well. Still waiting on some things to arrive. I've got a couple of pre-orders on the way. Yeah, so lots to show in coming updates. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys very soon. Bye for now.